I'm Rick Dederer. I'm the program coordinator for the We Honor Veterans program with SSM Health and Hospice here in St. Louis. Thank you for letting me speak to you briefly today. By a show of hands, since you've been employed at SSM Health, how many out there have been called mayonnaise? Mayonnaise, anyone? That's right, I didn't think so. I was in this job a total of 2 weeks when a patient called me mayonnaise. Yep, you heard me right. He was one of my very first patient visits, and I was pretty nervous. I shouldn't have been. I had 27 years in military service leading troops, but for some reason, meeting Tom made me sweat a little bit. As I went into his house, he was on a glider rocker, very similar to the ones your wife or mother would rock a small child to sleep in. Well, my new patient, Tom, was in one, and he was rocking that thing pretty furiously when we came in. It was Veterans Day of 2015, I think. So I had an entire crew of hospice professionals with me, including our music therapist, Kelly McKee. Once we got in and got settled, I presented Tom with our SSM Health Veteran Certificate as Kelly started to play some patriotic songs. After all of this, Tom started to tell us about his service in Vietnam. He told us about the time he served on the rivers of Vietnam, and after he was drafted the first time, he volunteered to go a second time. During the first few days of his second tour, Tom was on a river patrol boat when his commander was mortally wounded. As a 19-year-old specialist with the most experience on the boat, Tom was nominated to be the new commander. I brought him all home, he said to me with a smile. It was a smile that hid the overwhelming responsibility thrust upon him that day, the responsibility to keep his soldiers alive, and the responsibility he clearly did not take lightly. In that moment for me, it was as if people in the room had been stripped away. It was just Tom and Rick in that moment, two old military souls that understood the weight of overwhelming responsibility of keeping the soldiers in our care safe and alive. When I finally came around to realizing that there were other people still in the room, I noticed that his chair, which had been rocking at a furious pace when we arrived, was now completely still and silent. In that moment, there was a peaceful sense of pride on his face and an overwhelming sense of calm in his eyes. And that's when he said it, and I'll never forget it. Ricky said, "Life can give you a crap sandwich." He was a sailor, so he used the real word. He said, "Rick, you know, life can give you a crap sandwich, but you put enough mayonnaise on it, and you can eat it. Today, you're my mayonnaise." I just smiled. I'd never been somebody's mayonnaise. As we packed up to leave, Tom's daughter led us out of the house. She looked at me with tears in her eyes and said she had never heard those stories before. I hugged her, and then we said goodbye. The next day, I heard that Tom had passed away less than 24 hours after our visit. I believe our team's presence gave his daughter a gift in those untold stories. Our present, I hope, opened a window for her to see her dad in a new way she had never seen before. Quite honestly, it was a good day. Now, I've been doing this job for about 3 years, and I've heard a multitude of stories just like Tom's, and I know I am privileged to see patients like Tom from World War II, Korea, and Vietnam. And every visit, I'm honored to be in their presence. I've been honored to be present with the greatest generation and the veteran men and women we call pioneers, patriots, and heroes. I've held the hand of a dying woman who was part of the women accepted for volunteer emergency service, the waves of World War II. There I sat holding the hand of a woman that smashed the gender restrictions of a generation. She was feisty, and at more than 90 years old, she was still a little bit of a flirt. Well, not a... When she was tired, we would sometimes just sit and hold hands as she napped. Every 15 minutes or so, she would wake up to make sure I was still there. After about an hour, she woke up, looked me straight in the eye, smiled, and said, "Well, if neither of us is going to make a move, then I guess you should get going, honey." During these visits, when she spent most of her time napping, she would occasionally wake up and wink at me, but wouldn't let go of my hand, because she simply needed the warmth of a human touch to fall peacefully back to sleep. That for me is being present. That for me is the healing grace we can offer our patients. That for me is goodness. The goodness of our ability to reach our patients and provide them comfort because we have been asked and we are able to be present with them in this final chapter. People ask me why the We Honor Veterans program works, and I'll be quite honest with you, I don't know. It's not me. Honestly, I'm nothing special. Ask my wife. So the only thing I can think of is that maybe we are simply a reflection of the patients we serve, and that maybe, just maybe, we mirror the empathy that they give us by allowing us the gift of being present with them in those moments. Presence for me means recognizing that we might not be able to add days to their life, but we can add life to their days. It means at the end of the day, we all contributed and we all make a difference. I come from a military background and I grew up working in teams. What I love most about my SSM Health family is the interdisciplinary team approach, each of us doing our part to contribute to better outcomes through our comprehensive care of patients, physically, mentally, and spiritually. What an honor we have been given to be invited into people's lives in these most precious moments. Presence for me, therefore, means that compassion is not proprietary. Compassion needs to be shared, and that when you do the right things for the right reasons, you get the right results. I remember something a doctor I once heard say, "Don't cry because it's over, smile because it happened." That doctor was Dr. Seuss. Through this hospice journey, I've learned not to cry, and I've learned to smile because it happened. Lastly, for me, being present, being truly present on those days when life gives me a crap sandwich, lies in trying to find or trying to be enough mayonnaise to put on that sandwich. Thank you. May God bless.